So it's been quite a long time since I've had a chance to record another video like this because it has just been so busy around here since spring. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to catch you all up on what I've been up to since that last video. So spring started with a gardening trip to Grandma's where we did lots of work in the flower beds, kind of weed matting things and putting down mulch just to cut down on the amount of weeding that's needed in the summertime. And we replaced the pond liner in the pond with new pond liner because it wasn't holding water anymore and actually hadn't been holding water for a few years. So that was a very nice thing to finally get done. But there was quite a few other projects we worked on and planted a few trees and some blueberry bushes and of course the pumpkin patch. So it was a really fun trip, and it was probably about 5 days long. So after that we got back and started, or continued I should say, working on our flower beds around the house. So as all of us who have gardens and flower beds around our houses know, they take so much work and time to maintain, because it seems like every single day there's something to do. There's always something to weed, to prune, to water, to, like, the roses get diseases, so you have to treat those, and there's bug issues that you have to kind of fix, and so there's just always something to work on, which is a lot of fun, but it just takes a lot of time. So I feel like the majority of this summer I've spent outside tending to the garden and the just kind of exterior maintenance stuff too, because our house is older and I've slowly been working on painting window trim and reglazing some of the windows where the glazing has fallen off, and working on touching up some of the mortar of the brick of the house. And there's it feels like always endless things to do, but it's a very good feeling to kind of get caught up with some of that and continue working on it, because it's not going to fix itself. And so the summertime for me is kind of a time to just get caught up on all of that stuff, which kind of explains why I don't have as much time to record as many videos as I do in the fall and winter season. Because luckily in fall and winter I can't be out there painting and doing things like that, so it gives me an excuse to take a break from that until the next season when it's warm enough to work on that stuff. The other thing this summer I will mention is it has been so dry. We really haven't gotten much rain. It's actually raining out now, and I feel like this is about the third time that it's rained since kind of later May. So it's been pretty dry, and the plants have required lots and lots of water. It seems like almost every day, because some of them are very picky or touchy, and so if they don't get water, they're just like dramatically laying flat on the ground. So I do make sure I get out there and water them, and it has been really hot too. That's the other portion of it. We've had temperatures reaching in the hundreds, and then mostly though in the 90s, but for a period of time there it wasn't getting below like mid 80s at night, and so nothing was really getting like a break from the heat. So it was really important for me to kind of keep up with that. I wanted to do a garden tour on my other YouTube channel, my Christopher Heidemann channel, but the plants just aren't where I had wanted them to be to make a video like that, because it's been so dry. And watering with just water from the hose is good. It keeps everything alive and keeps them going, but rainwater, I've just noticed, really kind of gives everything a boost. And so without all of that rainwater, I feel like all of my plants just haven't performed like they could have if we would have been getting rain this summer. And then there's just things that I had to cut back on watering, like some of the hostas way out in the front yard, because I just needed to tend to what really needed it, like the brand new trees and shrubs and stuff, because our little town had a little watering ban for a period of about a week, when it was reaching almost 100 every day. And so I was out there bucketing water out of our, thankfully that we have it, pond. So thankfully I had some water to just kind of give them little sips and keep them going through those really hot days. But some of the plants got a little bit crisped, so they just don't look super good. Hopefully they'll be back to normal by the end of summer, and hopefully we keep getting some of this rain like we're getting today, because that really helps just kind of make everything lush and gives all the plants a nice little boost. So those of you who follow my Instagram probably saw the little bit of unfortunate news a few weeks ago. Our bird Peep unfortunately passed away. I think I mentioned it on that post that I made on my Instagram, but for those wondering what happened, so for a while Peep had been having problems with what we thought were mites, which is a common thing, I guess, that canaries can get. And so we were purchasing different treatments for mites. We tried one that just goes in their water. That one didn't work. And then we got this other one that you had to actually put on the bird, which was a challenge because Peep does not, or did not, like to be held. And he was afraid of hands, like always has been afraid of hands ever since we got him from that pet store, which makes me wonder what was happening in that pet store. But yeah, so anyway, we tried those treatments, and sometimes it seemed like he was getting better, but then all of a sudden it just would get worse for some reason, and we didn't know what was causing that. So eventually we decided to take him to a vet. And so we took him to the vet. They gave us some medicines to try. They weren't sure what he had, so they were just going to give us random medications to try to hopefully fix whatever the problem was. And so we were kind of trying different things, and we thought he was getting better, and then it would go back to getting worse again. And then one day it just was, he seemed really not good, and it was on a weekend when this vet wasn't open. So we decided to take him to a recommended emergency vet place. So we got him into his little travel cage, and this place was like 45 minutes away. Tim called ahead to make sure they had somebody there that specialized in small birds, because that's been our issue with trying to find vets around in our area, is finding vets that know how to treat birds, because most of them are just kind of dogs, cats, and things like that. So they said that they could, and that they had somebody there. So we called and made, I don't know if we had to make an appointment. They just said you had to call ahead, so we did. And we got Peep in his little cage and got in the car, and 45 minutes later arrived at the place. When we got there, a lady came out, and I'll try to make this long story shorter. I go into too much detail sometimes. Anyway, she gave us a form to fill out, and long story short with the place, it just didn't, it seemed a little bit on the money hungry side, which was off-putting, but it was our only option in the day, and we just wanted to make sure that Peep would be okay. So, after filling out their entire form and checking, originally they said it'd be $178 to look at our bird, and then when we got there, they said they wanted us to sign a thing if they wanted to do or had to do any tests or anything to the bird, that we'd be willing to spend up to $500, and we said sure, okay. And I mean, the major red flag at that place should have been the question on the form: would you like us to perform CPR on your pet if it's necessary? There's a 5% success rate, and that would be $1,000 just to do that. Personally, I would have hoped that a vet would love animals enough that they'd try to do what they could to save an animal without needing somebody to spend $1,000 for them to give a try. But anyway, so again, it was our only option, so we handed the cage over, and so about 4 or 5 hours later, they called us and said that they hadn't looked at our birds yet because the people there wasn't anybody there that specialized in looking at birds, which is funny, because we called in advance. But anyway, so they asked if we wanted to leave Peep there overnight, and then if we overnighted our bird there was a chance that the specialist that was there the next day might get a chance to look at them, but they weren't sure that they would be able to. And after thinking about it for a little bit and asking questions and learning that it would have cost thousands of dollars to leave our bird there, and also just considering how everything was going, and how Peep's condition was, we really didn't want to leave him by himself overnight in a strange place overnight, and then spend thousands of dollars as well on it, especially when the next day his normal vet could see him. So we decided to take Peep home. When we got the cage back, he looked just awful, way worse than he did when we brought him there, and his little water dish was practically empty, which I thought was unfortunate. Again, I would have hoped that a vet place would have people that loved animals and would actually hope that the birds, or whatever pet it is, has their best fighting chance. So we had bottles of Aquafina in the car, so we gave him a little bit of water, and then headed home. And unfortunately, so that night he wasn't looking good. I sat with him for quite a while, and I didn't think he'd make it till morning. And anyway, the next morning he was still, there sitting on the bottom of his cage, and I went down to make my coffee in the morning, and Tim came down and said that he thought Pete might be going, and by the time we both got back up, he was gone. So our little pumpkin got buried in the backyard next to the creek. So that's kind of where our little Peep is now. So anyway, the whole thing was very unfortunate, and it's too bad that we couldn't have figured out what was wrong and treated him, but we did give our best try. And so I guess that's all that we could probably, do. In other news, while Peep was at that place, and you may be able to see it in the back left, we decided to get an aquarium because we just thought it'd be fun to get a fish. And it started out with wanting to get a betta fish, and then just in a bowl, and then that kind of turned into a full-on aquarium. So that has been a project, beyond, way more of a project than we thought that it was going to be, because there's just so many complicated parts to it and things that we didn't know when we started that would have been nice to know. Like these wood pieces that we put into it were releasing tannins into the water and discoloring the water really bad. And so anyway, there's just been a lot of things we've been fighting with it, but I think we're finally getting it to where we want it. And once that it's where we want it, I will show you all what it looks like. But until then, I kind of want to wait until we get it under control and get the water the way we want it, get the plants, the decor, and the fish and everything like that where we want it. So, but yeah, that's been another thing that's been keeping us busy. So Tim was looking on Facebook and saw a canary breeder that was in our area, about probably 45 minutes, I think, away. So we were just like, yeah, it'd be kind of fun to look, because it wasn't, there will be no pet that will ever be able to replace Peep. I didn't look at getting another pet as being a replacement for Peep. It was more another little soul to have in the house to love, I guess. And so we decided to go to this breeder place and just take a little peek. And so it was kind of a retired aged man that just did this because he loved birds. And so he, you know, tried making different kinds. And yeah, I didn't know there was so many different colors and types of canaries. I kind of, for some reason, thought there was just yellow and kind of like an orangey red. I didn't know there was any other types. So it was really fun to look, and they were all just absolutely adorable, as you can probably imagine. And so we kind of went there with the intention of just taking a peek, but we came home with a little pumpkin. And so the bird that we came home with, we named Marshmallow. So Marshmallow is upstairs, and he, right away, he wasn't singing too much, but after we had him here for a day or two, he started really singing, especially in the morning hours and sometimes in the afternoon. So he has been an absolute joy. He's kind of a white color with some brown, and anyway, we just love him to pieces. So I'm sure he's gonna make appearances in my future YouTube videos on my other channel, and I'm sure we'll hear him singing in the background because his song is completely different than Peeps, but it's, you know, still the definition of precious. So anyway, yeah, so that's kind of another bit of news, is we do have a fun little canary now upstairs named Marshmallow. So other things that we've been busy with too, I wanted to paint this living room a different color than the yellowy, very light kind of yellowy beige color that was in here when we moved in. And so I had a color picked out, and we painted the room, and I liked it a lot, but I didn't quite, I was changing my mind again on that dining room paint color. So those of you who have watched that other video that I was talking about the dining room color, that actually the dining room I had painted twice because the first color was too bright. I ended up painting it kind of a smoky green, which was very pretty, but after contemplation, I just came to the realization that it wasn't the color for, it was a beautiful color that would work in many others' homes, but because of the way that I decorate for my other YouTube channel for the seasons, it just wasn't going to really work out, because I like to decorate different in different color schemes every single year, and that green color, I could have chosen things that have went with it, but a neutral backdrop would have allowed any, you know, type of thing that I wanted to do color-wise or theme-wise. And so I was worried that, you know, I was gonna have a hard time figuring out Christmas decorating and mostly fall decorating to go with that green. Because mostly when I see that type of green in other people's homes, they go with the neutral fall decor. So, you know, all white pumpkins and, you know, very faint caramely colored leaves and things like that, which is beautiful, but not something that I would do every year because I like to change things every year. So I decided that we probably should repaint that room for the third time, and we did, and I absolutely love the color. The color in here is actually called Toasted Marshmallow, and I think the color in there is called In the Buffs. So yeah, I was really happy that we finally did that. So I think what I'm going to do is actually pick up the camera and take you guys around the house a little bit. I would show you all around, but it is kind of a mess. The other thing that I've been really busy with this summer is just catching up on cleaning the house, laundry, and just regular housework, because we've had guests staying over every single weekend this entire summer and spring, and then we've also had guests visiting during the week as well, other guests. And so I feel like I've kind of spent the entire summer, I'm either outside working on lawn maintenance and yard projects and garden upkeep, or inside cleaning, doing laundry and things like that. And it's gotten to just kind of consume pretty much all of my time and energy. So I haven't just had a chance to just sit down and record, videos for this channel and things like that. But that's just kind of how summertime is. And usually once it gets to be the fall and winter seasons, it slows down a little bit. And I make it slow down because I do want to have time to record my videos for my decorating channel, like when I start doing my fall Halloween videos and Christmas videos. So yeah, it just gets so incredibly busy sometimes around here in the summertime, and that's another reason why I take a little bit of a break from making those videos for that channel, but also for this one. I'd love to get in the habit though of making more videos for this channel. It's just, I feel like I always want the house to be perfectly clean, everything put away and all of that stuff, but just to get to that point, and I mean, it lasts for like 5 seconds around here. And so it's just, it keeps me from making videos between, that and everything else. And so I guess I just need to be okay with making videos sometimes when the house is a little bit of a mess. I mean, really, it's more realistic because our house is not always just put together all the time. There's little piles of things to return to stores, or, boxes from packages that need to go in recycling. And behind me, there's like some packages that we got to our house that we'll be bringing over to our brother's new apartment when he moves mid-July. So that's that's sitting in limbo over there until that happens. And there's a lamp that I bought that I haven't figured out a spot for, and just different things like that. So yeah, our house is not always put together, but I try to keep it as neat as I can in the meantime. So yeah, I think I'll grab the camera and take you guys around the house and show you a few things. So one fun thing I wanted to show you was this neat big vintage scoop that I got at a little antique shop that's near here. So the moment I saw it in there, I'm like, pumpkins. So I have it on the table and I don't have anything in it, but I think my main thing I'm excited to put in here is just some little pumpkins and maybe some sort of fall floral arrangement. But I just thought that this was so neat. So that was a really fun find. And here is the new dining room paint color. So it's just a nice, soft, very neutral color. I absolutely love this color in here though, and I think it's gonna be a lot easier to do Christmas and different fall decor themes with than that light green that I had before. But the color is in the buff, and it's the PPG brand paint. So it's, let's see, back this up a little bit. Is it? Okay, there we go. Yeah, so it's the not the top, but the next one down. The top one is actually the color that I painted the next room, the living room that I was sitting in. So absolutely love both of these colors. So another new thing, I got this cute little picture at an antique shop in Alexandria, Minnesota. I liked the mill because it reminded me a little bit of Phelps Mill, which is a place that we go to at our grandma's, usually around the 4th. Unfortunately, in 2020, they decided to close it because they thought it wasn't safe for people to go into anymore, I guess. That's just information I've heard from word of mouth. I guess I've never checked to make sure it's closed, so maybe it isn't, but that's what I thought I've heard people say. But anyway, I found this and I just thought the colors were really pretty, and just a really neat little vintage picture. And I've added a few more little butter molds to my collection. And the pineapple, this one I got from one of my aunts. So yeah, Slowly building my little collection here. And this is something fun that I got at an antique shop for $3, just a little travel tin soap holder. And I keep adding some more little tin scoops to this window. I don't know what it is about them, but I just think that they're really cute and just a fun decorative item. And then I got this neat plant as well from Target. And then this is a wax warmer that I just thought was so amazing. So I cannot take the credit of finding this. My cousin Marita actually found this at Walmart and sent my brother and I a picture. And the coolest thing about it is it actually has kind of a little flame effect in it. And it works really, really well. And I like that this top part, you can just lift off when you're needing to change out the wax. But I just absolutely love this thing and think it's so adorable, and so happy my cousin, sent me a message to let me know about them. And I think they're Better Homes and Gardens brand ones at Walmart. It was, I want to say $20. So, but it's metal. So yeah, it's really kind of neat. And of course, wood smoke, wood wick wax melts, absolutely love them. They last such a long time. It is a lighter scent, but it's kind of like a smoky vanilla scent. And so that I use in here most of the time. But sometimes Yankee Spiced Pumpkin, that's another one that I really like. And this one smells good too. I got it at a little gift shop. It basically smells like a vanilla coffee. So those are all kind of fun. And this plant has been doing so well that I had to put it in a different pot here. So it's now in this very large pot that if it ends up needing a bigger one after this, it's not going to be able to fit in the window anymore. But the thing has just been blooming and blooming and blooming. I keep trying to deadhead it, but there's always new ones to do every day. But yeah, that's just such a fun plant, and I believe it's called a Streptocarpus. So, and another new thing, I got this cool lamp at Home Depot on clearance for $50. So I haven't decided where it's gonna go. Part of me was thinking in this room, part of me was thinking next to the new vintage metal bed on the 3rd floor. And then I was thinking in our bedroom next to the bed. So I have not decided yet, but I did get it put together today. So another fun thing, one of my little projects came in the mail, and I'm so excited and just love the way that it turned out. I was kind of worried because when I designed the cover of it, I was worried that it would come in the mail and not fit the cover right, or there'd be just the coloring would be different, because you never know when you make books if the printers will print them exactly the way that you see them on the computer. Usually it's not. So anyway, here is a very quick peek of the new cover, and this is a hardcover. And I decided to go with a matte finish on this because I just thought it would look nice and be a little bit different than having a glossy cover. That's the spine, and that is the back. So yeah, just it turned out better than I thought that it would, which is always nice because half the time it seems like things turn out the other way. So yeah, that is my new little book. I originally made this just to have one for myself, because it was just kind of like one of those things that's a dream, having a hardcover book of a book that I wrote. But I might, now that I see it, maybe find a way to make it available for other people to buy, because right now it's only available for me to purchase myself. So yeah, that was a fun little project, and just so happy that it turned out. And we have been fish sitting for my brother, so this is his little betta fish that we've been taken care of until he moves into his new place, because his current place, there's a cat living there, so his new place won't have the cat. So we thought we'd just keep his fish here so that he stays nice and safe. So he's been kind of a fun thing to have in here. So this is our new little pumpkin, named Marshmallow. So he is an absolute joy. He's mostly white, as you can see, with some kind of brown accents, but just absolutely adorable. He likes a lot more different types of vegetables and fruits than Peep did. Actually, Peep just liked apples. We tried so many different types of veggies and fruits, and the only thing that he would eat was apples, and he only liked the sweet apples. Marshmallow, though, I mean, loves just all sorts of different types of fruits and veggies. So it's been really fun kind of trying different things for him, and we give him a little bit of fresh food pretty much every day. So yeah. And this is a fun little plant that I got. This was actually just in the greenhouse section at Fleet Farm, and it was only $3. So I was happy to finally use this basket looking planter that I got at an antique shop. And the plant has grown actually quite a bit since I put it in there. So it's been a fun little plant to have in here. And you'll have to excuse the mess. This is where my brother and I have been taking some pictures. So this is where that picture that I posted on Instagram was taken. But over here is currently the plan of where to put this metal bed. So I originally thought that this would be fun in Marshmallow's room, but when I did the measuring, it would have taken up so much of the floor space. And so I thought, you know, we don't really have a guest bed on the 3rd floor here, and we have had guests stay up here, you know, for Christmas time. And so I thought this would be a fun space to have this bed. So it's kind of tucked away in this little nook, and I need to redecorate around it with the pictures and things like that on the walls, because it's how it was before that was there and when I had the desk back there. So I do have some changing around to do in there. And I know it covers up the window a little bit, but the way we have the space plan up here, I kind of wanted the bed to be in its own little separate nook, so it wasn't seeming like it was part of the living room and the dining table area. Having a designer mindset, we always want to think of functional too. And unfortunately on this floor, there just is not a great way to have it super functional, as far as like not being a little hard or, you know, to get into because of the ceiling shape and everything like that. So it's not 100% ideal for a location, but I think, you know, guests will enjoy the coziness of it and be able to hopefully put up with the low kind of beam coming down here and things like that, and, you know, still kind of enjoy it as a little bedroom space. And we had so much fun spending time at our grandma's for the 4th. We went shopping in town and went to a lake for a little bit, and kind of looked at the garden and saw how everything was doing, which was really fun. So some of the plants just got huge since the last time we were there, especially the pumpkins. There's actually a vine that had quite a large pumpkin on it already, just for it being July. Normally, I don't even know if they're usually flowering yet. So for some reason, that stuff's been kind of ahead of its season this year, but that's, you know, been kind of really fun. And then, so we headed back home on the 4th of July after kind of supper time, and got back just in time to catch a fireworks show that started at 10 that's kind of near us. And so it was kind of fun to stop and watch that. Tim and my brother and I were together to watch it, so it was kind of a fun way to end the 4th of July weekend. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to. So sorry for the little bit longer video, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope everybody is having a great summer, and I hope to have some new videos posted very soon.